So friends and fans, boys and girls, Bob's Barn Workshop, we are back on the 2008 Hyundai Santa Fe with the bad wheel bearing. And I don't know how much in the last video I showed, but I had to pull the whole knuckle out because I tried to press out the drive shaft, the CV shaft, the half shaft, whatever you want to call it. I put 20 tons on it and couldn't budge it. And to get the bearing out, you got to get that half shaft out. And I melted part of the half shaft trying to heat it up. So I ordered a new half shaft. That's here somewhere. And I ordered a used front knuckle, which is in fantastic shape, came out of California. The dust shield on it is in really, really good shape. I'm not even going to have to paint it. Probably the bearing is good, but I'm going to pop the bearing out if I can. So I got to figure out a way to mount this so I can press on that bearing. I got to get this heat shield off, I guess. And that's that looks like there's 3 number 10 M6s in there. Thanks South Main Auto for showing me that size. I'll take that flange off. I will somehow mount this to push that off, but I don't want to bend that. That's an expensive part, that dust shield. So that's where we are. That dust shield is in beautiful shape. It doesn't even need to be painted. It's just got dust on it. And we'll see if we can get that sucker out. So let's see if we can do that. So I got the part on the bench. And I know from experience that those are 14 millimeter nuts on there. So we're just going to blast them out of there. Clean that is. That's a California car. The tips stick out the far side, so that's why it's a little tough coming out sometimes, because the tip is rusty. But we're going to save those when we use them. Now, I'm going to try to punch this out somehow. Just clean up that so it don't slop all over. Okay, I'm going to take my coat off. It's getting serious now. Now another way you can do this is you can get a long bolt. You can knock out your one of your studs and put the long bolt down through here with the head down, maybe, or no, the head, excuse me, up through. And or you can use a long-headed bolt, yes, and a nut on the bottom that matches, and you hold the nut and drive the bolt and push this out. But I'm just going to try to bang on her. I'm going to get my muff because I'm going to use the air chisel. Let's see if this is on. Okay, we got pressure. Because she didn't turn on. So she's got air. I'm going to try the air chisel to start with. I'm going to change this chisel to a poiky bit. Okay. There you go. No trouble. We didn't even have to remove that. I don't know if I could have just beat on that with a hammer and had it come right out. But that bearing might be good. I think maybe I'll put it on the side here for emergencies. Don't throw anything away yet. All right. So the next thing we need to do is clean the socket, which is very, very clean. Got some grease on it is all. I mean, I'm not even going to bother cleaning this up any because it's perfect. This is just the dust shield. I'm not sure that that's not bent some, like that's supposed to be out that way. We'll find out when we put the caliper and stuff on it. Just keeps mud from splashing up on your brake shoes, basically. That's all it's really good for. What am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to be right back. Yes, you're going to hear a rumble because the heater is running right above our heads. So, such is the life in the middle of winter. Alright, I'm going to take out my burr bit here. Amazing tool right there in an air grinder. And I'm going to put in my little whippy-do here. Little cheek poker, as Derek would call it. If you don't watch Vice Grip Garage, you should. It's hilarious. Derek is a comedian and not only an entertainer, but a fine mechanic. Alright, so now we're going to get the cheek poker. Nothing like a part from a California junkyard. Now we go in reverse. Clean up this space a little bit. Just want to make sure there's no chunks of anything that could disrupt that valve seating. Okay, I'll wait till the air compressor stops. Alright, so we're back. Now, back you up a little bit. I'm going to drop the bearing in. Did I just kick that out of the way? No. I'm going to drop the bearing in. I've got a nice moved bearing here. Brand new, of course. Are they going to be long enough? I got to check to make sure my studs on this are long enough. Oh yeah. The one that was on there had very long studs. I think this will be fine. We'll torque them down good. So, just in case we ever have to dig this out again, I'm going to goop to this with anti-seize. Annie? Annie? Put a little bit on the face here. Just a schmear. My favorite word, huh? Heard me say that before. Going to set our bearing in. set in there. No friction whatsoever. And now, these guys are getting from the back. We're going to put a little anti-sneeze on these too. Most people be putting Loctite, ain't putting anti-seize. These are going to be heavily torqued. They ain't coming out. I'm putting it on the rusty part mostly, just so it lubes it going in. Alright, now we're just going to lightly put these in until they touch. Alright, now I got my Torque wrench. Set for 72 foot-pounds, which is the spec. That's tough. Alright. Come on, get on there. I probably should put this in the vise. What I should do. This one I did already. There we go. There. Moscos, just Moscos. All right. Everything looks fantastic. Here's the knuckle for the bottom ball joint. Pinch joint here. We'll loop that guy up a little bit. You want him to slide in there easy because that's the hard part. The rest of this is just nuts and bolts. I'm going to have to take a look and make sure I'm happy with those studs. If not, I might have to drive those studs out and put the old ones back in. You can usually just drive them out with something like Mr. Let me put my earmuffs on. Mr. Impact. See if I can. See that? Where'd that go, of course? What the frig? It's a great big long bolt. How can I miss it? Well, I'm going to drive the other ones out. See if I can drive them out of this. Okay, I got to take it back apart. I'm going to put the longer studs in. Are they that much longer? Yeah, they're almost a half-inch longer. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't get them out with the thing on there, but that's all right. We just put them in there. Okay. Get you an air hammer. Get your air hammer and kick some butt. All right. Old bearing, new bearing. There's 4 bolts. The 5th one's got to be around here somewhere. Unfortunately, we got to rip these back out. Thank goodness for anti. Sometimes you got to do things to do them right. Want to make sure those lug nuts stay on there, for God's sakes. All right. Now the way to do this is with some washers and a lug nut, I think. I don't think I got a nut that'll fit that. Look at it there. That there is going to be the charm. Put that guy in there like that. Oh, let's see, what size is that going to be? Just like that. Just like that, baby. Put them studs back in. All right, well, we'll stop for now and I'll come back when I'm done. What is it Indiana Jones said? I'm making this crap up as I go along. That's what I'm doing. As you find the problems, you fix them. That's why I don't do any editing on my videos. Hear it change tone when it hits the base. You know you're in then. And these studs aren't rusty or nothing. They're hardened. I can see, and they're plated. They're some sort of copper-colored plating on them. I don't know what it's called. There you go. Well, whatever that was, it broke. That's okay. We got our lug nut in, our lug stud. Oh yeah, they're all uptight. Let me see what happened to that other one that disappeared on me. Of course, it's dark down here. flipping kidding me? Where did they go? How can you drop a big bolt and it disappears? Alright, well I gotta look around some more. Alrighty, we're down to our last stud. I found it. It bounced off my leg and went into a box on the shelf down here. There you go. Now we got the right studs in there. This guy back on. Do it again just a little bit slower. You want to take this in gently and just, you know, it doesn't feel like it's getting pulled in. This thing produces a lot of torque. I'm going to call that tight. That ain't never coming off in there. Alright, now that bearing is just as smooth as butter. Look at that. She's just smooth and nice. Alright, we didn't even have to take off the thing of the thing here. I'm going to bend this flange out because it's been bent. They must have beat on it a little bit at the junkyard when they pulled it. I even saw a picture of the car this came out of. I think it was near Sacramento. Alright, the next thing to do is get the drive shaft in because we have to slide the spindle bearing over the drive shaft as we put it together. So, I got my new axle here. And I don't think I need to do anything to it except snap it in. So get it up under there. You know what? I'm going to raise this up. Don't fall off. It has to pop back in there. There's like a spring joint on the end of the shaft. I wonder if I can just whack that with a hammer and a block of wood. What did I do? Knock you out of the way? Well, I just drove that thing in there with a hammer and a block of wood. I gotta drop her down a little bit. Get her down here where I can work on it. That's perfect. This guy goes on last. I can't forget my brakey thingy. I think that's a 10. Doesn't have to be super tight, but it's just a little. Now I'm looking up in the frickin' sky here. Oh no, I'm not. Yes, I am. I don't know why this thing keeps on jumping around. I'll kick it, I guess. All right. Sorry if you missed all the fun. Get the anti-lock brake sensor in. Wheel speed sensor, which is how your anti-lock brakes work. They sense whether your wheel is moving a different speed than the other wheels. Alright, everything looks perfect. There is a giant bolt that goes on there. I got one more bolt on the bottom. I got to get the steering tie rod on. I got to find out what size that is. Bigger than that. That's a 17. Take the nut with me instead of running around looking for something to. I got to find a couple cotter pins, aka. All right, I need to find another socket, so I'll be back. All right, I just put the spindle nut on. I got the suspension tightened up. Got the new bolts back in that we took out. I just ran this in with the impact, but I didn't tighten it. I'm going to run the torque wrench all the way to 150. But you're supposed to go to 160 minimum. Okay. There's my problem. I'm turning the wheel. I gotta get a piece of pipe or something. There we go. Now I'm going to put my bigger breaker bar on here. I'm going to line this up with the hole for the key. You know damn well it ain't going nowhere. I think there's one right in the top center here. I just went past it a little bit. Okay, I got to turn a little more. There you go, we're lined up. Perfect. Now I just got to get this cotter pin. I used to have some around here, but I don't know where they went. That's torqued. Cotter pin goes this way, wheel goes on. All right. I'm right in your ear here, aren't I? We're back from the hardware store. Got the nut that I needed. I just beat the rust off on the brake shoe here. Let's see, how does this go? This goes that way. Gotta line up these two screw holes. I'm gonna anti-seize down a little bit. Hey, Rocky, give me this. You don't really need to put it on the flange, but you need to put it right here is where they really like to seize up and rust. So this Gupta. Alright. Now let's get my cotter pin on there first. Boom. 5/32 cotter pin works the best. And I'm just going to buckle this. Shove it down in there. Shove it. Just like this. Ow, 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 ow. Well, here you go. There we go. Well, that ain't going nowhere. You don't put anti-seize on your lug nuts. Everything looks great. I need a big Phillips screwdriver. I got a couple of Phillips head screws that got to go in there, and I'm going to group them up, and I sleeve them. These aren't really necessary for anything other than putting the brakes together, because, you know, they just hold the rotor on. That one went in terrible. But what will happen is when you tighten down the lug nuts, all right, now we need to put on the brake caliper. Nothing, honey. And now there's just two big bolts that go in from the back. So those are 17s, which they are. These have been anti-seized in the past. I'm just going to refresh that a little bit. Them damn lights are right in my freaking face. They don't help. And I need to put the tie rod end back in. Yep, there's the 17. All right. Can I get a wobble on that? They make these things so convenient to put work on. All right. Guess I gotta work on this by hand until it's in far enough to or into far enough. Screwing in, I can see it. It's going. Back in the days before any of us home mechanics had torque wrenches, there was tight and then there was freaking tight. And this is a freaking tight bolt here. Need to give her a little impact. That was the original impact wrench. And I torqued the other one on the bottom, I guess, didn't I? Yeah, thank you. All right, that is it. No, it isn't. I've got to get the tie rod end in and tighten it up. I'm not sure what size this guy is. also a 17. What did I just do with that wrench? There it is. It shouldn't affect the alignment at all. This is a tapered joint, so pulling a wedge-shaped pin up into a wedge-shaped hole with a nut on top, which takes all the sloppiness out of it, which is the whole point of your steering wheel being tight. Is it turning? It must be turning down here. Yeah. So I gotta find a wrench that'll fit on that. I'm gonna try beating it. Drive it up in maybe. I don't think it's turning now. Yeah, I wedged it up in there. As soon as it wedges itself, there we go. Smart idea, Bob. Tight. I'm gonna get a few more whacks with the Mr. Impact here. There. Should be tight. She's done. All right. Well, something I wanted to do before I finish up here is I want to do a little more welding. All right, she's sitting on the stops again. I wanted to take a look at this on the bottom again. See what welding I can do to finish this up. If there's any more. I'd like to put another little band. I really don't think it needs it. You could use some welding right there on the top. Weld over on the other side again. All right, we're gonna go finish up that welding. So, we're back under here. What there was is a break in the exhaust right there. And you can see I made a band and wrapped it around and booger welded each edge, and I think I did a pretty damn good job. But I was thinking about adding a strip here and a strip on the other side to just kind of span over that and reinforce it, but I don't think it needs it. But see right there, it looks like there's a place that needs to be welded. I can't really show you me doing that. That was pretty damn good, boy. I think I got that top part caught real well. I'm not doing it anymore because I'll just... Those are called booger welds. I'm not doing it anymore. There might be some tiny air leaks. No, I'm not going to do anything more. I'll just burn a hole in it. That's pretty damn good. I'm calling that quits right now because if I do any more, I'll just screw things up. I've got it welded at least 99% of the way all the way around. All right. As you can see, everything looks like it's tacked. I fixed that hole in the top that I had. That's stronger than the pipe. I don't see any other problems. This was fixed by Monroe a couple of years ago or last year. But the integrity of it looks fine now. Good enough for my granddaughter's car. She goes back and forth to Brockport in it. We want it to be safe. It's got good brakes. It's got four-wheel drive. All right, guys. Let's let her down and put the wheel on her. Bada bing, bada boom. Bring her up and down. Alrighty. Let's get this wheel up on there. find the right socket for this. 21 it is. Yeah, if it starts to hammer, don't keep going, you're just cross-threading. These are supposed to be set at 80. You think we got close? I think we're a little over, but that's all right. I'd rather have too much than too little. Well, at the point of breaking something off, of course. Let's set this to 80. There's 80. Well, let's put it down and then we'll torque them. Make it a lot easier. I'll have to scoop it. Don't get your toes under your lip. All right, torque cube time. Torque him out of. Can't torque him out of anything. Boy, I was close. Good guess. All right. Bingo. Loosen your tap torque wrench back up when you're done. Dang it, I was going to polish those a little bit. Her windshield thingies her headlight lenses are really foggy. Guess that's another day project. So I think I take a buffer to them. I'm going to be done. I'm going back to my house. So gotta go take her for a test drive. You want to go along? Okay. All right, let's back out of here. See if I can stay in the part I plowed. I plowed the other day to make a little bit of a path. She's got four-wheel drive, so it should be fine. This had an awful growl to it. You'll be able to tell instantly. Let me get my seatbelt on. Hold on. Be a good boy when I get on the highway here, the road. Listen to that. Smooth as a kitten. transmission doesn't shift very quickly. It's going like $3,000 right now. There, she downshifted. All right. All right. She's perfect. Smooth and quiet. I really need to polish those headlights though. I mean, you can still see, but she drives about 30 miles one way to college every day, 25, 30 miles, so we need to make sure this is safe for her. And that's why the bearing was shot, the exhaust was broke, but she's good to go now. Those rattling noises, our brackets on the mufflers already rattled them. Brakes are great. I gotta go get cleaned up now. I'm all dirty, and I promised my wife, it's Valentine's Day, I promised her a nice, I'm going to do venison tenderloin butterfly steaks on the grill so that they're nice and delicious and smoky and toasty and good, good, good. All right, guys and gals, that's it for this one. Thank goodness it's done. It's been a pain, but for the love of family, we did it. All right, we'll see you next time. Take care. God bless.